It wouldn't be the IAWJ without a lot of singing and dancing. Can you hear me? And it shows the great esteem in which Norma is held in her nation and internationally. Thank you. It is now my very great pleasure to present the Arline Pacht Global Vision Award to my very dear colleague and friend, retired Chief Justice Teresita Leanardo de Castro of the Supreme Court of the Philippines. She has made an immense contribution to the advancement of women's rights and gender equality in her own country, in the Southeast Asia region, and internationally. She is the embodiment of this award and the vision of our dear founder, Arline Pacht. In the time available, I can only give a very brief snapshot of her outstanding career, and believe me, it was difficult to pick those highlights to give to you today. After a long and distinguished career in the public service, from 2007 to 2018, Chief Justice de Castro served as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the Philippines, becoming its 24th Chief Justice of the Philippines in 2018. Among her many other achievements in the Supreme Court, in 2013, she was appointed chairperson of the Supreme Court Gender Development Committee, and in that capacity, she spearheaded policies to address not only gender biases in the judiciary, but also to promote the access to justice of women and children. In addition to her work within the judiciary, Chief Justice Castro has also been a staunch champion for women's rights outside of the courtroom, and particularly in the educational field and her work in the university. She's a member of several women's organisations, including the Women's Lawyers Association of the Philippines and the Philippine Women Judges Association, which she headed for a number of years. She's been a frequent speaker on women's rights and gender equality, both in the Philippines and internationally. I have to say, an inspiring speaker. Since her retirement, Chief Justice de Castro has been able to spend more time with her family, and I acknowledge her two daughters who are at this conference, one a judge and one a lawyer. I also acknowledge her son-in-law, who is here too, who is also a lawyer. As you can see, her legal legacy lives on. But even in retirement, Chief Justice de Castro has continued her advocacy by encouraging her legal and judicial colleagues to render services for the vulnerable, and especially for women and children. Turning to the international field, Chief Justice de Castro has been an important leader in the Southeast Asia region. Among other initiatives to promote gender equality, she led the drafting of the Bangkok General Guidance for Judges on applying a gender perspective. This has become a concrete model of best practices in the promotion of gender inclusivity in the judicial field, and it's applicable not just to the region, but internationally, and I commend that to you to read. And of course, Chief Justice de Castro has been a long-standing and valued member of the IAWJ. She served as its president from 2014 to 2016. Among her many contributions to the IAWJ, her leadership on the IAWJ Sextortion Project in the Philippines and the development of the General Toolkit on naming, shaming, and ending sextortion must be mentioned. Chief Justice de Castro, you are Teresita, if I may. You're a true inspiration for all of us to emulate, and I'm honoured to invite you to accept this well-deserved award, which I hope we have actually managed to locate before you come up here. Teresita. actually, are Teresita's daughters and son-in-law in the audience? If they are, please come forward. Here we are, the whole legal dynasty here. Teresita.
Thank you, Susan, for that generous introduction. Good morning, everyone. It is with humility, wholeheartedly, and with gladness that I accept this Arline Pacht Global Vision Award. Arline Pacht is a shining icon in the firmament of women judges in the international community, whose achievements are difficult for anyone to measure up to or replicate. In my modest way, I strive to be worthy of the responsibilities attached to the positions that were entrusted to me in my long and fruitful journey in the IAWJ. First, as Regional Director of the Asia-Pacific region, as Vice President, as President-elect, then as President, and finally as a member of the Executive Council. To be recognized for the work that I did with the IAWJ gladly, and which in itself was already fulfilling and rewarding, is a pleasant surprise indeed. Since I was warned that I would have only 5 minutes to speak today, I want to focus on expressing my gratitude to all whom I owe this award accorded to me. In thanking these people and organizations, allow me to give you a glimpse of my history with the IAWJ. First, I wish to thank Joan Winship, the former Executive Director of IAWJ, who introduced to me the objectives and mission of the association and guided me during my early days in the IAWJ. Second, I wish to thank the officers and members of the IAWJ, past and present, who elected me to my various positions in the IAWJ, and of course, the BMT for its meaningful assistance to the board during my incumbency. Third, I wish also to thank Nancy Henry and Ann Goldstein. Will you please stand up, Nancy and Ann? Thank you very much for your help. Nancy and Ann, together with Joan, mentored and guided the Philippine Women Judges Association in the implementation of the unprecedented and very successful sextortion project. It was already mentioned by Susan, my very good friend, that this project, which was undertaken by the Philippines together with Tanzania and Bosnia-Herzegovina, developed a national toolkit for the use of each of these three countries and an international toolkit which will serve as a handy guide to how to stop sextortion. In our country, through this extortion project, the IAWJ coined the word sextortion, an apt and very descriptive term to denote the abuse of power to obtain sexual favors. The term sextortion enabled the network of Women Judges Association to introduce that term in the legal lexicon of their countries to be used to easily identify similar offenses which must be eradicated. Unintended but a fortuitous outcome of the sextortion project was that the Philippine Women Judges Association was able to share with our Supreme Court the experience that we gained through the sextortion project on how to implement reforms, particularly in the dispensation of justice by our family courts. This resulted in the adoption by the Supreme Court of innovations in the rules of procedure in our family courts. Fourth, thanks should be given to the officers and members of the Philippine Women Judges Association who gave me their unqualified support and cooperation in matters concerning the projects and activities of the Philippine Women Judges Association and the IAWJ in regional conferences and every biennial conference. They come in full force as a testament to their dedication. They save their hard-earned funds to finance their attendance in these conferences. And to tell you, as soon as one conference ends, like this one in Morocco, for sure they will be planning and saving money for the next one. May I ask my colleagues in the Philippine Women Judges Association to stand up, please? Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. As Justice Monet Singh of the Supreme Court mentioned, the PWJA is a force to reckon with in the Philippines. In our country, there are male judges who wondered why there isn't a Philippine Association of Male Judges. And they even express envy that our women judges periodically get the chance to touch base with their counterparts across the globe. Unfortunately for them, there is no International Association of Male Judges. The reason is there is no one like Arline Pacht within the ranks of the male judges. Some years before the IAWJ, but truly the development of the Philippine Women Judges Association as a productive and prestigious association of women judges was completed when the PWJA joined IAWJ as one of its chapters. Thank you, Arline, visionary founder of the IAWJ, for opening the door to this golden opportunity to women judges worldwide. Let us give a warm round of applause to Arline Pacht. Fifth, I also express profound gratitude to the Philippine Supreme Court. Our women judges are authorized by the Supreme Court to attend the biennial and regional conferences on official time. This means that their attendance at these conferences is not considered time away from their judicial work. The reason is that the Philippine Supreme Court fully understands that their attendance at the conferences contribute to their professional development, and they are given the reciprocal opportunity to share knowledge experiences, and best practices, particularly in ensuring equal justice for all and the protection of human rights. For these reasons, the Philippine Supreme Court provides significant material support and resources to the IAWJ through the Philippine Women Judges Association. I must mention at this point that the Supreme Court supported without reservation my involvement in the IAWJ, as well as the work of Supreme Court Justice Estela Bernabe and Justice Tess Arcega, our regional directors in the Asia-Pacific region. With the recent election of our Supreme Court justices, Justice Ami Javier as Vice President and Justice Monet Singh as Regional Director, I am very optimistic that the Philippine Supreme Court support for the PWJA and the IAWJ will continue with equal or even more enthusiasm and generosity. Finally, I thank the IAWJ Biennial Committee on Awards for bestowing on me this singular honor, which I will cherish all my life. God willing, I hope to be part of the many more IAWJ conferences and projects in the years to come. Thank you and good day to all.